Doug, my next question is this. What does every child need spiritually?
Well, I think I would answer that by going to 1 Corinthians 13, where the Apostle Paul describes the qualities that endure into the next life.
Okay.
Faith, hope, and love.
Oh, okay.
And I would say that every child needs to experience those here and now.
Then let me read that.
Please do.
Okay. This is in the love chapter. This is wonderful. And at the end of that chapter, it says, in this world, so to speak, now we see a poor reflection as in a mirror, but then, that enduring quality, in heaven, then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And here are the things that remain. These three remain: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love.
Yes.
So explain how a child needs these things: faith, hope, and love.
Okay. A child needs to grow up in an environment of faith. And that is a home where faith is modeled, where parents, grandparents, family believe in God, worship God. Church attendance is a part of that, but family worship is a part of that. You know, this is a family where we pray at meals. This is a family where we pray at bedtime. This is a family where we pray when there's an illness. This is a family where we pray if a friend has a need. So that it's modeled, it's practiced, it's as natural as breathing. It's a part of life. I mean, faith is really lived here. For some time in our family, when we were starting the new church, we read some probably 7th grade level biographies of Christian saints.
Yeah.
And I remember my daughter, we went to a concert. She was just maybe a preschooler. And Amazing Grace popped up as one of the song titles, and by John Newton. And we had just read his biography. She whipped around to me and she says, "Daddy, it's John Newton. I know him." And so a family where faith in every way that we can think to do it is modeled. Okay, secondly, a family where there's hope. There are families where there's faith, but there's not hope.
Okay, what's the difference?
Faith is looking to God. I think hope adds the dimension of, in this life, believing that there are good things for me, that my life has a purpose, that life in general has a purpose, that even when you read the newspapers and watch the television news and bad things are happening, that even yet behind that there's a God who is working for a greater and a better purpose. And children need to grow up in an environment that life is worthwhile, life is going somewhere, life in general and your life, because God is behind it, God is in it. So an environment of hope. And then thirdly, every child needs to be in an environment where they're loved above and beyond everything else. And that can be as simple as, I guess somebody said, how do you spell love? It's T-I-M-E.
Yeah.
You know, it's spending time, taking the little walk, you know, going to the park, playing sports together, just being with that child and giving them attention.
Kids have spiritual needs just like they would have physical and emotional needs.
Yes.
And their primary caregiver is their parents.
Yes.
The first people who are responsible for those needs.
Yes. This could be overwhelming if a parent thought, I have to do this all by myself.
All right.
Okay, but God is your great senior partner.
Okay.
In providing an environment of faith, hope, and love.
Okay.
So, for example, when we come to baptism, we gather under the banner of Jesus Christ. We're here in his name. We're expressing our faith in him through baptism. We're expressing our hope that God's purposes will be worked out in the life of this child. And obviously, and you can see it in people's faces, when that child is carried out, which I think most churches do, present the child to the congregation, the oohs and the ahs and the love, that child is loved in that experience. So faith, hope, and love come together, and of course, flowing from God. We don't have to dredge it all up. Faith, hope, and love flow from God. They're totally available to us. And so baptism is a gift. Life is a gift. Faith, hope, and love are gifts that come from God. That's the point of 1 Corinthians 13. You don't dredge it up, but we do become a channel for it.
Wow. So God's meeting us at that place to help make those spiritual needs met.
Yes.
And then throughout, not just the life of this child, but the life of this family.
Yes.
God is helping us to meet the spiritual needs that child needs through the family.
Yes.
So that's a picture of how God's with us in that family all the way through. But Doug, the way my family works, I have discovered from very early on, my kids are not perfect.
No.
They take after their mother. No, I'm kidding. No, I've understand that they take after me.
Yes.
And I have struggles, and my kids have struggles, and our faithfulness to God is not always faithful.
Right.
What do you do with the problem of sin?
Yeah.
And kids?
Yeah. Well, first of all, as you mentioned, the problem of sin is my problem.
Okay.
And I think it's really important that when I've disciplined too severely, when I've sinned, that I come to God, but I come also to my children.
Okay.
And I say, I was wrong. Will you please forgive me?
Okay.
And I wait for a yes or no. Once my little girl, when she was a little girl, said to me, Daddy, I already did. But another time she said, not today, maybe tomorrow. And so I knew that I had to come back again tomorrow and ask forgiveness. So parents first model that. Our children will probably never ask us for forgiveness if we haven't asked them. And then we have the joy of seeing our children when they've messed up, when they've made mistakes, and even maybe big mistakes, of at some point coming to us and say, Dad, Mom, I was wrong. Will you please forgive me? And to help them understand, more importantly, experience forgiveness from us, forgiveness from God.
Mm-hmm.
Baptism is not just for perfect people. It is, of course, for imperfect people. It's for sinful people.
I see. God's
grace is for sinful people. Therefore, it's for me, and it's for you, and it's for my children.
So we're not arranging little scenarios of perfect people gathered before God.
No.
But people that need God's grace.
Absolutely.
And are ready to live it.
Absolutely. Every day.
Thank you, Doug. Well, let's talk about that in our groups. If you were to think of what it is that you spiritually would like to give your child, there's probably many things, but if you were just to pick one thing that you spiritually would like to give your child as your child grows up, what would it be? How would you describe it? Let's discuss that now.